Hello and welcome back to FIFA Manager 2019, or should I say 2119, because this is the FIFA experiment and we are steaming 100 years into the future. And where we're at? We are at 100 years into the future here in this final part of this series. So, also, I'm the oldest person alive now at 131 years old. So coming from you from a 131-year-old voice and joy. So also, if you have any questions, any ideas for another experiment, do leave a comment. I read everything and I will take every suggestion into consideration for my next experiment series here on FIFA Manager 2019. And with that said, remember to smash that like button to crazy. Very much appreciated by me and by YouTube, of course, as well. And if you haven't done so already, remember to smash that like button is what I were not going to say. Hit that subscribe button so you're not missing out on our next experiment here on Rawslowgaming or our usual Let's Play series here in FIFA Manager or something else. So, with that said, let's see how the Premier League ended the year 2017 and how it's looking currently. So, the last 20 years, Liverpool have been back and been on high form, winning the league the last 3 years in a row and a total of 8 times these last 20 years. So unfortunately we only can see 20 years back into the future, so if you want to see everything, you gotta check all episodes here in this series, unfortunately, and you can do your own sheet in Excel or something like that. So, in the years in the 2100s, Liverpool being a force to be reckoned with here in the Premier League, being no worse than forced in the whole 20 years, except one time where they finished 7th, and actually only one time other than that they have finished 3rd, so second or first most of the year, so a really good run. And a good run is what Tottenham had as well here in the years 21st or 2110 to 2113. Boy, that were kind of hard to get to the correct way to say that as well. And winning the league 6 times the last 20 years. Manchester City winning the winning the title 2 times the last 20 years and having a real slum here in 2105, only finishing 14th. Bristol City being on an upward form and reaching the 4th place here last time in the league. And then we have Manchester United, who are doing alright but not too good considering being them, with our 1st place or winning the title only 1 time here in the league. And let's check out Derby County, been pretty stable here in the middle of the Premier League. Wolverhampton Wanderers that won the league once last ended, had a good run after that with 2099 and 2100, 2101, finishing 1-1. But after that, a bit of a slump and down to the mid-table again. Sunderland being pretty mid-table throughout the years here, but having a win in 2100, winning the title. Leicester City, very stable in the middle, just as usual. Swansea City, the same. Arsenal being back to a little bit of a better run here and being middle team and up to 2nd place. Yeovil Town being back up to the middle of the table here again, and Newcastle United finding their way up to the Premier League again and doing all right for themselves, but still they are only just bouncing between the Premier League and the Championship. York City doing very stable and very good results for them in the lower part of the league throughout the years. Sheffield United doing pretty much the same and being up to Premier League here again after being out of the highest league for quite the time. Southampton doing really pretty good in the midfield of the table, bouncing back up and down now the last couple of years, with finishing fourth 21-17 and 16 in 21-18. And then we have Walton Casuals, definitely a very much low league team, coming from Sky Bet League 2 these last 20 years and reaching all the way up to the Premier League here, bouncing up and down from 21-08 basically each and single year up to 21-16, where they were 2 years in the Championship and are now actually surviving the Premier League for 1 year before this, so making them a little bit stable in the Premier League, but that's maybe a little bit of a stretch. But still, Wigan Athletic very much bouncing up and down here throughout the years, winning the Sky Bet Championship 5 times in the last 20 years. Northampton Town have been really stable in the Championship and having a really bad curve, but then turning it around and being up to the Premier League here again for a year, or for this year. And we have Hereford, another team that is definitely a lower league team, and they have been doing quite alright, but are up to the Premier League here again after dropping out in the last few years, and being also a team that bounces pretty much up and down. So let's close that and let's check the stats. I don't know actually if we checked the stats here on the last couple of playthroughs. I think not, so we didn't check the team ratings here for a little bit, but that doesn't matter too much. And you can see here on Walton Casuals, for example, the average talent being very, very poor. And Hereford having a really young team, and the average talent here actually pretty decent. And we have at the moment 4 teams with definitely a little bit of best 11 that are pretty much better than the other teams. It was 3 teams with a lot better average rating on their players. And these statistics is pretty nice, and this average age and average level and average talent is pretty nice to have, which you don't have in Football Manager. I like it at least, and then you have some player development and other things like that. And you can have best rated players as well. You don't see it right now since we are in between seasons, but still I think it's really good. So let's take a final look here at Bath City Football Club before we move on to Europe. And unfortunately we have moved down to Sky Bet League 2 only. The market value, or the club value, have gone up though to 493 million, so we're still up. And the team rating is actually one of the better I've seen, with 698. So how have we been doing the last 20 years? So we steadily bounced between Sky Bet League, or not, between the Championship and the Premiership for 5-6 years, but unfortunately ultimately getting worse and worse in Sky Bet Championship, and eventually dropping out of that as well, and having quite poor results really here in Sky Bet League 1, and then eventually dropping out of that as well after winning the promotion to Sky Bet League, or to Sky Bet Championship here in the 21-16, and having a really poor result in that season, finishing 24th and then dropping straight down to Sky Bet League 1 and dropping straight out of that, and only finishing 14th in the Sky Bet League 2 is really pretty much a catastrophe for the team, I'd say, considering we were up to the Premier League. So can't be too proud of as City what they've done here the last couple of years, but other than that, quite an interesting run or a simulation this 20 years into the future, or not 20 years, 100 years into the future. And speaking of that, let's have a look at the Europe winners in the different leagues. So Celtic still being a champion, and Galway United for Ireland, don't know that. Football de Porto for Portugal, and Sevilla the FC SAD for Spain, and again Olympique de Marseille for France, and again Inter for Italy. And we have, I don't know these clubs too much, but I know this one have been here like all the time, and this KA Ghent for Belgium have been there all the time as well, more or less. And we have Borussia Dortmund for Germany again. We have Halmstad BK for Sweden again, and we have Football Club Midtjylland for Denmark again. So pretty much just as it have been the last couple of times. So let's look at the market values. Which country will win this time on the country or the market values on their players? So we have Portugal with 52.4. We have nothing too much in the rest of Great Britain. And we have 117.6 for England, for Fernandez Puga, a 23-year-old left midfielder at level 88, which is pretty decent. And we have pretty decent here, and we have Rudkiewicz for Lyonnais at level 86, a 23-year-old player, Australian and Greece, what a combination. And we have a new top market value ever here that we have seen in Germany of all the places, and we'll check that very shortly. We have Bandinelli for Italy, and here is our youngest player ever in top market value, left back at level 84 at 19 years old. And the salary are only 50k per week, which is very low. And for Spain, we have pretty much the same level as we had for England. 117 million for a 24-year-old center midfielder at 87. Yeah, exactly the same, I'd say. But then we have Hövedes for FC Köln at market value 147. 24 years old, base level 90, -1 for experience, and that is the highest valued player ever that we have seen. What a way to end that stat or that simulation. That is crazy. So market value 147 million pound. So to buy the player, guess you must be up to maybe at least 200 million pound, which is just astronomical. So who have the highest salary? Will Germany win that as well? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So let's see here. We have Frey at 280k, Gildel at 250k, Spain, Robin at 320k, so not too high. Heinz at 250k for Italy. And then we have Fuchs for FC Bayern at 630k, and that is also the highest ever I think we've seen. And Gutierrez for Manchester United at 460,000, 94 basic level included experienced striker. But what do we have here then for Fuchs? Wow, a 95 level player up to level 96 due to experience, right midfielder at salary 630,000 per week and a market value of 140.6 million. So another player that were higher than ever before, and definitely the highest basic level that we have seen throughout these 100 years. So another win here for Germany and another record in terms of best outfield player, which we aren't even reaching yet, and the record stands for highest salaries as well, and that goes to Germany again here, so crazy. So we'll actually, most important signings this year, no real signings have been done yet since it's the pre-season. Best outfield players then, let's check that. So we have Gutierrez at level 93, and Chiltel level 87, Stewart level 89, Landini level 85, Cortese level 88, and then we have Fuchs at level 96. Really darn crazy. Germany is going home winning it all. So 5-year assessments. Yeah. 5-year assessment is still England very much highest, but Germany being decently well, they're actually not knowing how they are not better with all those crazy players of sorts actually. And we'll see here. We can actually check the same stats here, or we will check that on Premier League. So first division records, nothing have been beaten actually here in what we have simmed. So let's check England. Most expensive player bought 84 million. Most expensive player sold 82 million. So it seems like the players are only going from around a little bit under 100 million. And Luke Nixon, 96 goals for the national team, which are pretty crazy. And the top goal scorer, I guess it's in the leagues, 378 goals throughout the career. And let's see here, do we have made any new records here? No, not really. And we should check one last thing here before ending this episode. So something that you don't have in the Football Manager is an all-time table, which you can have here in FIFA Manager 2019. So this is a league/all-time table, and this table says that Liverpool have the best points overall after, or in the year 21-18, and Liverpool and Arsenal is the only clubs that have played as many games as anyone else, and Manchester United actually being between them, even though they have this is like 400 matches less played, a little bit more than that actually. So we have some prominent clubs that are not in the Premier League at the moment. For example, Chelsea and Everton, Aston Villa, Blackburn Rovers, Sheffield Wednesday, Bolton Wanderers and West Bromwich. And actually York City being a club that have been playing many matches in the Premier League in total. And then we have Yeovil Town that have actually played a decent amount of games in the Premier League as well. And we have Hereford that actually have done the same decent amount of games in the Premier League overall. And we have Kettering over these 100 years have played 418 matches. I don't know how many they played before. Oxford United, unfortunately not getting really up here, but I think this is all new matches. 314, Walton Casuals 190, and let's see here how many teams. 93 teams in total. And where do we have? We should have Bath City here. Where are they placed? Yeah, there we have them. 228 games in the Premier League, winning only 34, losing 147, minus 265 in goal difference, and 149 points in total, which is pretty darn crazy. But we did it, and we were much better than Darlington, for example, and better than 23 other teams actually in the total standings for, or total the all-time tables for Premier League. And that will round everything up in this episode and this Let's Play series, in this experiment series. So if you have any ideas on what to do next, do leave a comment. And with that said, remember to smash that like button if you have enjoyed it, and also hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the content that we post daily here at Rawslowgaming. And remember to check out the regular FIFA Manager Let's Play. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.